Hello, loved ones. Thank you for joining me today. And if you're new to the channel, then welcome to the family. Today, we will be reviewing Married at First Sight Season 15, Episode 4. The episode was called Sun, Sand, and Spouses. And if you are new here, then what we do is we leave the timestamps in the description box. So if you are excited about a particular couple, then check the description box and just jump to your favorite couple. This episode was so exciting. We got to see the spouses in different parts of their relationship. And we got to see our last wedding. So please be part of the congregation by subscribing and be part of the conversation by commenting in the comment section. And with that, let's get started. Welcome to Fueled by Intentions, where we talk about faith, family, finances, fitness, and fun. Sponsored by Bynum's Business Solutions, where the right fit is made simple. We specialize in tips, tools, and strategies designed to help you achieve your financial health so that you can take control of how you spend your money so that you can spend more time with your family, friends, and doing the things you love. So let's jump right into the video. Let's begin with Krysten and Mitch. We see Krysten and Mitch first on their wedding night, and they get to the room, and Krysten is looking for these really cute pajamas that she packed in her bag, but she cannot find. And Mitch tells her, hey, you know what? It's okay because I'm going to be wearing a t-shirt and glorified boxers. And then Mitch helps her with a dress, and she goes in the bathroom to change. What I thought was very interesting about this scene is Mitch in his cameo. He said, generally you have time to get to know someone looking your best, but we are married and we must show our human side, and it feels a little awkward. He can't really force stuff. He has to be himself, and true to how he feels, it's a lot of pressure for him. So we see Mitch is under a lot of pressure, and he feels a little awkward, and he does not want to force things, which I think is going to become an issue coming up. Well, we may think it's going to be an issue because he's going to make a deal about it, but we see this is who Mitch is. He has to be true to himself, and he's feeling a lot of pressure. And take note of the many times in this episode that Mitch talks about feeling pressure or uneasiness. I noticed a couple of times within this episode. Krysten in the bathroom, she says that she feels good about taking off her makeup because Mitch has told her he likes women in their natural state. And so she doesn't feel the pressure that you normally feel about taking off your makeup. And once she comes to bed, and she had on a cute pajama outfit, just a nice little black outfit. It was cute to me. I like it. I like black, so I was like, you go, Krysten. It looks good. And I was really glad that Mitch complimented her. He said that her pajamas look really nice and that she looked really nice with her natural self. And I thought that that was so important because he's made such a big deal about her wearing makeup, and he can't wait till she just gets into her naturalness. So when she was, the fact that he took note of it, then I thought that was great. They agree to cuddle until they get ready to fall asleep, and then they're both going to roll away. Krysten asks Mitch for a kiss, and then they end the night for them. The next time we see them, it's day one of their marriage, and they are at breakfast. And Krysten wears her ring to sleep, and Mitch makes a comment about it, which I was so surprised because I never take off my wedding ring. I never take off my wedding ring. It's smaller than Krysten's. It's smaller than Krysten's, but I never take off my wedding ring. I have these two rings that I wear all the time that I got from my husband, both of them. And I got them in relation to our marriage or something going on within our marriage. And I never take them off. I don't take them off to bathe. I don't take them off to shop. Like, I never take them off to swim. Never, nothing. So I was really surprised. So let me know in the comment if people take off their wedding rings every night. Maybe, I don't know, is mine too small so it doesn't really get in my way? But I never take my ring off. So I thought it was interesting that he made a comment. Krysten says that she feels like she had a fairy tale wedding. She's married to a great guy. She's on cloud 9. She needs a little sleep, but she's optimistic. Krysten does not snore. Mitch does not move in his sleep, and they did not consummate their marriage. During breakfast, Mitch says that the hotel got it half right because they have plastic cups but paper straws. And Mitch is a very picky eater, and he explains the pickiness of his eating to Krysten. But honestly, I wouldn't have a problem with that as long as you're not asking me to eat like you. But to accommodate you, leave this off or put this on, I guess I wouldn't have a problem with that. So I don't think that that's a big deal at all. Both of them think that their relationship is going good so far. Mitch then meets with Krysten's family. And Krysten's family is Ashley, which is Krysten's friend, Courtney, which is Krysten's friend, and Ronnie, who is Krysten's mom. And they ask Mitch, what's Mitch's intentions with Krysten? And hey, some people don't like the question, some people don't like the family, but I love the family meetings. Honestly, I really enjoy the family meetings because a lot of times we don't include our family in that and they can't speak on it. So the fact that Married at First Sight gives the family a chance to speak on it, I feel like it is a great opportunity. It depends on the conversation during the family meetings, whether I think that it was useful or not. So, what are your intentions? What is he going to say? Like, is he going to say something negative? I want to live, be married, be happy, I guess. But he said he wants to be the best version of himself at all times. He hopes she lets him know if he's not living up to that, to his vows. He wants to make her happy and make them happy. And I thought it was great, but I'm not sure from the clips that we've seen if he is really going to be his best self at all times and if he's going to be okay with her saying something about it, because we already know that he is a rebel and he moves kind of like to his own beat. Ronnie, Krysten's mom, she tells Mitch that he seems like a very honest person and he may hurt Krysten by his honesty, but she asks, do not lie to her. She has not been able to find that person that will treat her the way that she deserves. They then tell Mitch that she is not a diva and she is not bougie, even though those are two things that was mentioned during the wedding by either them or Krysten. And I don't think that she's either. I think she's classy. I don't think she's a bougie and I don't think she's a diva, but I do think she's classy. So I think that that would be exciting to Mitch because I don't think that he wants that bougie diva kind, but I think that Krysten has a lot of class. So we'll see if that works out for Mitch. Mitch then shares that his past relationships did not work out because he was not being true to himself and he was a closet environmentalist. He says that he doesn't expect his spouse to be as much of an environmentalist as he is. He just does not want them to be a fossil fuel executive. And Ronnie says that she believes that Krysten will support him in that, but it's going to be more of a challenge for him than for Krysten because he is going to have to be the one to balance his passion for being an environmentalist and investing in his marriage. So that was the family meeting with Mitch. Krysten then meets with Mitch's family, which is Bonnie, Mitch's mother, Matt, Mitch's brother, and Stephanie, Mitch's sister-in-law. Now, I love this meeting because I feel like Krysten got a lot of intel on who Mitch really is. They asked Krysten basically the same question that her family asked Mitch. What's Krysten's intentions with Mitch? Krysten said that she tried traditional route for 12 years and was looking forward to someone who wants a serious relationship and does not want to play games. She is all in and excited and wants to take things slow. I don't think she answered the question. They didn't ask you what you want. They asked you what your intentions was. So I think she avoided that entire question. Krysten then takes control of the conversation. Krysten asked the family, how does she make Mitch feel comfortable? And this is where she gets a lot of intel. They say that Mitch is super overwhelmed and he feels a lot of pressure, which is similar to what he said the night before. Mitch is overwhelmed and he feels a lot of pressure, which I think we're gonna see in his behaviors moving forward. They say he's a rebel and he does not want to do what everyone wants him to do. His sister-in-law, Stephanie, says that they have bumped heads and he lashes out and he says hurtful things, but she thinks it's because of his pride. His pride gets in his way and he can be a jerk sometimes. Bonnie, his mom, says that he is brutally honest, which is the same thing that Krysten's family picked up on. His brother says that he hopes they can continually work through things and forgive each other because Mitch can hurt your feelings and also really make you mad. And I think that was some good insight on who Mitch is. And I feel like Krysten should be ready for that and not surprised or take it personally when we see that moving forward. And I think that's consistent with how he says he feels personally in his cameo. When they met back up for their wrap up, Mitch says that Krysten's mom is a straight shooter and very articulate. And Krysten shares that Mitch's family said that he was a rebel. She indicated that she thinks they thought she would be scared, but it intrigued her and she wanted to know more. Next, we see them as they receive their gift basket. The experts have sent them a basket and some gifts, and they go to the door and they answer it and they get it out and they're really excited. And it's the honeymoon reveal. So they find out that they're going to Mexico and there are poppers for them to pop and to celebrate this exciting vacation that they're about to go on. But of course, Mitch doesn't want to do it because he has seen poppers on the beach and they are all over the place, and that is not helping the environment. I think I would have said, well, it's in the apartment, it's on the floor, and I will sweep it up. But I mean, at that point, the mood is ruined and the time is ruined. And that is just a glimpse for Krysten to see what she has to look forward to of some of the things that she may not be able to enjoy because of his environmentalist and how he thinks of the world and society and how we preserve that. They then get into a weird discussion about these shirts. So they get shirts, and I guess he doesn't want to wear the husband's shirt, but she wants to wear her wife's shirt. And I love what Krysten said. I'm gonna wear mine. You can decide if you want to wear yours or not. And I loved Mitch's answer. He said, if you're gonna wear yours, I'm gonna wear mine, because that's what marriage is about. It is about compromise. And you go, Mitch. If you don't compromise on nothing else, that is what marriage is about. It is about compromise. We do hear in Krysten's cameo that she was a little disappointed because she was so excited about the gifts and because he was concerned about trash and titles. So, I mean, that's gonna happen quite a bit. He seems like he is a rebel and he's pretty stubborn on many things, but I think that that's something that she's gonna have to get used to. But I hope Mitch is willing to continue to compromise, not even on the small things, but on some of the larger things as well. We then see them at the airport, and Krysten tells us that Mitch brushed his teeth in the airport bathroom, and I really needed to know a little bit more about that. Did he not have time to brush it before they left the house? Did they eat something after they left the house? He brushed his teeth when he left the house. They ate something after they left the house, and he is just one of these adamant toothbrusher persons. So I couldn't understand where that fit in. Some people brush their teeth 3 or 4 times a day. So if he is one of those avid teeth brushers and want to stay fresh, then I don't see nothing wrong with that. But if there is some odd reason as to why he didn't do it before they left the apartment, but at least he did it. I mean, honestly, I prefer that he brush his teeth at the airport than not brush them at all. So go Mitch. I guess, why am I tripping over something as small as that, brushing your teeth at the airport? Let's just move on. They meet the other couples, and I noticed that Mitch had on a t-shirt that says I heart S/F. I don't know if that's San Francisco. I don't know. If you guys know what the t-shirt really was trying to say, let me know in the comment section. But I thought that was odd, because if he doesn't want to wear the hubby t-shirt, then I'm not a t-shirt person, so I'm very particular about which t-shirts that I do wear, what they say, or why I'm wearing them. But I'm not a t-shirt person. But if he would wear a t-shirt that says "I love F-/F," which I think may be San Francisco, I don't know what it stands for, but it seems like he would not be opposed to wearing other like cutesy t-shirts. So I thought that that was odd, that he is a t-shirt person, but he doesn't want to wear that t-shirt. Does he not want to be identified as a hubby? And he's a newly married person? I'm not sure. Let me know what you think. As they are walking in the resort, Krysten makes a comment about baths and says Mama likes to take baths and Daddy's gonna like to take baths too. And Mitch says, wow, that's a first. That's the first time I've been called that before, which I thought was interesting too. So we see Krysten, we know she has a great sense of humor. Before they check in, they are having a group chat with the entire cast. And Alexis asks, what is your first impression of your spouse? Like, what did you think when you first saw them walking down the aisle? And Mitch recounts the story that he thought that Krysten's mom was his wife because she walked down the aisle and she looked very young. And I was okay with him reciting that. I mean, it was a part of what happened. I feel like they say a lot of things over and over again, but that's because the producers is showing it over and over again and they're saying it to different people. But that was the first thing that really happened in their wedding, is that the mom walked down and he literally thought that that was his wife. And honestly, I think that he did think that that was his wife. I think that he may like the look of Krysten's mom better than he liked her look. Just, some people like darker hair people better than lighter hair people. But also, I think that he was excited because she was coming down, she's in this pink dress, and he felt he had another rebel, somebody like him. And I think in his mind, very quickly, he processed all of this, that this is somebody who is not going to yield to the standard and walk down in a white dress. And then when he saw Krysten, he's like, oh, wow, she's like everybody else. I could be making a deep assumption about that, but I think that, Krysten's mom does look young and probably closer to his age than Krysten does. And so I don't know. I think that that was okay comment, okay thing to share. Krysten didn't seem like she liked it. He was like, the first thing is, what my mom was like. And then they kind of made it more easier, saying, that's just to let him know that you're going to look good when you're older, which is true, so they made her feel good about that. But I didn't have a problem with Mitch sharing. That was the first thing that really happened. That's the first thing that went through his mind, is that this might be my wife coming down in a pink dress, because she may be a rebel like me. Alexis then mentioned that Justin is celibate, and then they flash to a cameo to let us know that Mitch has been celibate too. The only difference is his wasn't on purpose. He hasn't had a relationship in like a year and a half, the same amount of time as Justin. He didn't share that with the group. He shared it in a cameo. We also know that Stacia has been celibate for at least a year and a half. So it's really interesting to see how many of these castmates have been celibate. I don't know if it's due to the pandemic or just due to them having a low in relationships, but I'm loving it. I think that that's a great thing. I like to see the little time go by before you jump into the next relationship. But in that cameo, he tells us that he is out of practice, he does not have confidence, and he's nervous about that area. So again, he is telling us where he is, which, spoiler alert, yes, kind of no. But we see the scene with him and Krysten talking about intimacy. He's already told us that he's under a lot of pressure. He has to be himself. He has to take things slow. The family's already told us that he's under a lot of pressure. Now he's telling us that he's been celibate, that he is afraid, and he is not confident in that area. So I don't think that the upcoming scene is really gonna be a dig or anything personal to Krysten. I think it's really gonna be about Mitch and where he is. And I feel like they're telling us where he is leading up to this scene, but sometimes we don't pay attention to those little conversations or those little things that they say when they are telling us where they are mentally or on the subject that we're gonna see coming up. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you saw it any differently. or if you even noticed the comment. They then check into their room. They're excited about their room and the decor. Mitch says that they matched him well because Krysten is assertive. And he says that that's not something he's asked for, but that's something that he needs. And I'm really glad that he shared that with Krysten so that she can feel confident about who she is and how she is operating within the relationship. Mitch says that he's a little more guarded due to the intensity. He says he is getting more comfortable. It's just a matter of time, and it does not hurt that he likes her. So he assures us that he likes her, but again, he is saying that he is uncomfortable. Krysten has no time limit, and she wants to make small steps daily, which in any relationship, if you can make small steps daily, I think that that is great and exciting. And that was the end for Krysten and Mitch in this episode. So what did you think about Krysten and Mitch? What do you think about Mitch? Do you think that we're going to be upset with him as we move on? But if we pay attention to the clues that he's dropping, that he is uncomfortable, that he is uncertain in certain areas, that he feels a lot of pressure, maybe we will understand his actions moving forward. So let me know what you think about Krysten and Mitch. Next, we have Lindy and Miguel. We see Lindy and Miguel on their wedding night. They're kind of settling into their room, and Miguel helps Lindy out of her wedding dress. We then get a cameo of Miguel, and he says that he wants to talk cuddle, and he is fine with it if it leads to sex. So we see what he has on his mind, and we see later in the episode that he acted upon that. And I'm sure it probably was that night. And then he got rejected because Lindy was not at that point yet. Lindy goes into the bathroom, but she kind of starts before she gets to the bathroom where she is looking for her pajamas. What is it with pajamas? Why come nobody can find their pajamas in this episode? But she's looking for her pajamas. Then when she gets to the bathroom, she is still looking for something. I'm not sure if it's her pajamas because Lindy is in the bathroom. She's frantically looking through her stuff. She started looking for her pajamas first, but then she said a few things. She says, "Where's my actual pajamas?" And then we see her and she's in what she actually slept in. So I'm assuming that she found either the pajamas that she was looking for or something in order to sleep in, because now she has on what she ultimately slept in. But she is still rambling through her stuff. And she says, "Where? I think it's in my makeup bag. I don't know. I can't focus." Now, pajamas wouldn't be in your makeup bag. So it looks like she's looking for a lot of more than just one thing. She says, is there brighter lights in here? I can barely see. I'm like a crazy person. Production then begins to be messy, and on the screen throws up 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and 35 minutes. And then at 35 minutes, Miguel decides to knock on the door and then bust in the bathroom before she even says, "Come in." Now, see, I did not like that. I did not like that. My thing is, it's 35 minutes. I have spent the whole day. I'm very slow in the bathroom. So please, I am very slow in the bathroom. If my husband came in the bathroom because I was in there for 35 minutes, like he would be coming in there every single day because I'm just very slow. And I don't think 35 minutes is a long time after the day that they had. So only way I could see that as an issue is if production said, "Hey, we got 15 more minutes. We need to wrap up this scene. You need to get your stuff and get back out here." Now I can see him being nervous about time. So I'm not sure if that's what was going on. And I do think that Lindy is a frantic person and all this kind of stuff, but I don't think that he should have made an issue at this point. And he makes a comment about it, which is why I'm commenting about it. He breaks into the bathroom and she just says, "Hey, I just want to wash my face and put up my hair." And he's probably thinking, "You haven't done that yet?" But she wants to wash her face and put up her hair. And he says, "I will use the other bathroom to do his personal stuff." But my thing is why don't you go in the other bathroom and leave me alone anyway? It's been 35 minutes. That is not a long time to wind down take your shower, take your makeup off, get out your wedding dress, just breathe, because you want to be alone for a minute in the bathroom by yourself. I mean, I just thought that was not, I don't think that he should have been making a big deal about this at this point, because he says stressing out and spiraling is a concern. It is not a turnoff because they're married. He will be on the lookout out for red flags, and if he wasn't married, it would be a red flag to him. Then when Lindy comes to bed and she says she's had a fun and easy day, and I felt like he was kind of shunning her when they just like rolled over and went to sleep. It's just like, I don't know, it was something about his movement in that action, in that scene. I really felt like he was frustrated. Like, I'm tired of you, or tired of what you just did, or wasn't pleased with what just happened. I don't think that was fair to Lindy. Although I do think she spirals out, and that might be a problem, but I don't think it was in that scene. I just met you, we've been all day together, and I just need 35 minutes to myself. But I don't know. I think maybe there's some other things going on in the background, and production had to get their shots and leave the room. And so I would be Miguel if I know that we're on a time crunch and these people need to leave. They've been with us all day. Maybe that would have made me nervous. You need to kind of get yourself together. Let's do this shot, then we can get up and finish doing whatever we need to do once they leave. Now, if that was his mindset, I will give him a pass, but that is not what they projected on the screen. The next we see them the morning of breakfast, and they both wake up joking about not having chemistry because they have a lot of chemistry together. They say that it feels good and it feels natural. Lindy says that Miguel is perfect and this is what she signed up for. While talking about travel, Lindy then goes into a ramble about how she needs snacks to travel to maintain her blood sugar. So I'm wondering, is she a diabetic? Because she said to maintain her blood sugar, and usually that's a diabetic thing. So I don't know. If that's the thing, I'll give her a pass. But she says she will focus on small things and as if it's the end of the world. And if she does that, if she wants him to help bring her back and let her know that, it's not a big deal. And she has had many flights and delays and cancellation, and that has added to her stressfulness. Miguel says that he sees her as a cute stress ball that's hard not to get along with. Spiral, I think that was a ramble, but I like that she knows what she needs and she's telling him how he can help. So I'm still not seeing any red flags with Lindy. I feel like I'm on edge and I'm looking for every little thing because, Alexis already said that she talks a lot and ramble. We saw that one scene where she's really rambling, and then, they keep showing her in a light where it looks like she's spiraling. But I don't know. Right now, I don't think it's a concern, and I think that they are taking us down this rabbit trail and overdoing it when it's not as a big deal as they're making it at this point. But I don't judge correctly, so I could be wrong. Let me know what you think. Miguel then meets with Lindy's family, which is Colleen, Lindy's mom, Luke, Lindy's brother, and Andrew, Lindy's friend. And Miguel, he says him and Lindy are connecting. They have great chemistry. She is a sweetheart and easy to get along with. He says, what should he expect? And Luke says that Lindy needs calming reassurance. She's quick to take things personal, which can be difficult because you may not have had any intentions, but she will lash out at you because she takes things personal. Lindy's family then starts this discussion about intimacy. And I think anytime you talk about intimacy with somebody's mom, that has to be a stressful situation. However, I think the conversation is on par with who they are. We already know that Lindsay grew up very spiritual. And so they basically tell him that when you consummate the marriage, that's when you are married in the sight of God, basically is what they're saying to them. And they're encouraging him not to do that with Lindy and for him to wait and take his time. But we know that's not Miguel. He already made a move on Lindy. I do applaud the family for having this conversation with them. They are sticking to their values and they think this is very important. However, I feel so sad for them because it's like a lot of Christian families. You know, we feel like we raise our kids in these Christian families and then that's who they are. But Lindy has already told us that she does not espouse to these Christian beliefs that she has been raised in. It sounds like she has just put that in the past. She's living her life and she didn't buy in to what she was taught, which happens in a lot of Christian households. I mean, Lindy has already told us that she's had one night stands and that people in their 20s have one night stands, and she thinks that's normal for people. So although I applaud them for having this conversation with Miguel, I feel like they're talking to the wrong person. You need to be talking to your daughter, trying to tell her about consummating a marriage or what it says in the Bible or how we should act as Christians, because she is not there. I think he should do just what he did, take it all in, but it's ultimately up to him and Lindy, and she does not espouse to these Christian beliefs that she grew up in. So I don't think that Miguel is going to have an issue that he doesn't have these beliefs that she grew up in, and he doesn't believe like the family, because neither does Lindy. And the thing is if Lindy did believe, like if she really did believe, then I feel like she would have put that in like some of her deal breakers, or what do you not want? That's what I think. But we did see with Ryan, and I can't remember who he was married to, but their issue was Christian. He was a Christian and she really didn't have a faith at all, and that got in the middle of their marriage. So I don't know, maybe you don't, but I would think that if that was something important to me, I would put it as a deal breaker, something that I want them to look for in a spouse. But I don't know, we've seen another season, so maybe I shouldn't make that assumption. But I don't think it's going to be a problem for Lindy and Miguel, because I think that they may have similar beliefs, but neither one of them believe in the Christian values or Christian denomination or teaching that Lindy's family does. The family then asked Miguel what about him caused failures in his past relationships, and Miguel says, "It ain't me. I did not cause a failure in my relationships. I had to break up with them because we were either misaligned or they were cheating." So he doesn't see his fault in any of the relationships that he's been in. It's not me, it's them. But my question is, did he lie? Because he's already told us that his mom left him when he was young, and that every girl since then, that has been a reoccurring pattern in his life. So when he said that prior, that sounds like you've been left. Your mom left you, and now that is a reoccurring problem in your relationships. But now he doesn't remember that, and it's not him. He doesn't have any faults. It's them. And I kind of think that he has that complex that he does not have many faults and that it's the other person. And I feel like that because he is being nitpicky with Lindy. And a lot of times when you find a lot of fault in another person, you cannot see the fault within yourself. The family may have caught on to it too, because they said Miguel is 35. To not have settled down, there may be something not addressed yet. Seems genuine, but they're unsure. Lindy then meets with Miguel's family. She meets with Priscilla, Miguel's sister, Alexandra, Miguel's friend, and Charles, Miguel's friend. Priscilla starts off the conversation by telling Lindy that Cancers and Geminis are not compatible, and she is concerned about their relationship. And I love Lindy's answer. She says she's not sure how valid that is, but if that's something important to him, she will research it. What else can you say? I feel like if you wanted to know an astrological sign, then don't get married at first sight or make that something that you want them to look for. Priscilla then backs down. She says, related to the sign, that Miguel is a hopeless romantic. She protects her brother and does not want his feelings getting hurt. Not saying they would not work, but it's going to take a lot of work. Both need to put in effort. And I think both have to put in effort regardless of your sign. They then let Lindy know that Miguel makes a great living and ask her, does she bring debt to the relationship? They tell her after she says that she does. They tell her that he is a problem solver. He likes to see a drive in people. If he sees drive and believes in you, he is 100% behind that person. And when they said that you have to have drive, I would have said that's Dr. Lindy to you, sweetie. Anybody knows Real Housewives of Potomac. Dr. Wendy, Dr. Lindy, because you have to have drive to get your doctor's degree. And the girl is younger than him. She's 29 and she already has her doctor's degree. So it's evident that she has drive. However, her next comment, I don't know, because her comment was she has a lot of student debt. She has been driven, but at this point in her life, she wants to enjoy things. She's working a little and then enjoying life. But Lindy is 29. Do you get to just stop working and really enjoy life at 29? I feel like you have to be a little more older, that you need to push it. You still have, you at that age where you still can drive, build that empire like Ben, and then settle down. But I don't think that, I mean, unless you got a windfall or something, and her family doesn't look like that happened, but I don't think you get to slow down at 29. I think you need to still be grinding. And personally, I think it's important for you to pay your student loans. Priscilla wraps up the conversation by saying she does not want her brother to be financially strained or burdened. When they get together and wrap up the family meetings, Miguel lets Lindy know that her family, including her mom, asked about intimacy. Lindy shares that she has a significant amount of student debt, and I'm sure she does. And unless she's paid some or little, you got your doctor's degree. That is very, very expensive to go at the age of 29. So it sounds like she got her bachelor's, went on, got her master's, and then got her doctorate without having any breaks or paying down any debt before she moved on to the next level of education. So she may have a lot of debt. I know some people who only have a bachelor's or almost have their master's, and they have like $150,000 worth of debt depending on what school you go to. So I cannot even imagine what her student loan looks like, because she made it sound like it is a lot. But she says she has a significant amount of student loans. She then goes into her ramble. She says, I don't want you to worry or stress about it. She does not want it to be a red flag for him. That does not mean that she wants to work 40 hours a week. It's in her name. She is financially independent. She burns her calories in her brain. So now that is where I would say is a ramble, where he can see like the person of who she is, although she did make some good points, like, you know, the debt's not in your name, I'm financially independent, I don't want you to see it as a red flag. So I don't know, she rambled because of how production makes it go, you know, but I don't know, I still think that they're giving her, I don't know, I feel like they are making us think something about her character, and I'm really not sure, because I would probably say that too. Hey, I hope you don't see this as a red flag. It's in my name. I don't plan to work 40 hours a week, you know? I mean, I don't know. I think I would say those things that she said, but when they put the clip together, it sounds like a ramble and like she's spiraling out. And I feel like I get that impression because Alexis is always in my head saying Lindy talks a lot. So, God, I hope I'm not misjudging her, because I feel like when they make the edit like this, that they are feeding us what they want us to think. And I don't know if that's just, you know, anybody would say those things if they're trying to defend themselves when somebody is talking about their debt. And honestly, I think everybody should pay off their student loan. Let me just make that clear. I'm a CPA, I'm in finances. I think if you borrow something, you make a commitment, you should pay it. And I don't care. We have a lot of excuses as to why we don't, the government, and they should do this and they should, whatever. If you make a commitment, pay your commitment, which includes your student loan. However, I do know people who are married and one person have a large amount of student loan and they have a good credit score, and the other one doesn't have any student loan, and that person is not paying their student loans. and the other person is, and they have a lower credit score. So I'm not really sure how the student loans feed into it, if you let them stay dormant for so long, or if you put them in forbearance or deferment. I'm not sure how that affects the spouse's credit. And hey, if your spouse passes away, God forbid, and it's in their name, it doesn't fall on you. So I don't know. I think she should pay her student loan, but I don't think that it should be. I don't know. That would bother me if my spouse didn't pay their student loan, but I mean, it's not a deal breaker. Could be a red flag to say something about how I feel about that person and how they look at bills. But she didn't say she's not going to work, so I would really like to hear what her plan is for her student loans. Am I being nosy? Miguel, in his confessional, he says he will never be a sugar daddy and hopes that Lindy will have the drive to pay off her student loans in a timely manner, which I agree with that. I don't know about him being a sugar daddy because you're now a husband, so what does that look like? I mean, if you pay another bill and then she can pay her student loans, I'm not sure. Not sure what a sugar daddy looks like in a marriage. He says that that's a game changer for him. He says that her stressed out states are not red flags, but they are magenta. He wants to be the calm reassurance she needs, but he's not sure he can. You're not sure if you can be a calm reassurance? I mean, like, she's not a crazy bad person. So this is where I just feel like, oh my God, like, we should try harder in relationships. Because if that is the reason, a deal breaker as to why you would end your marriage, because someone kind of rambles on, I just think that's weak. So I hope they can make it, because I would be so mad about the reason if they don't make it because of this. We then move on to the honeymoon reveal. They find out that they're going to Mexico. Lindy is going to practice her Spanish, and they do set off their poppers, unlike Mitch and Krysten. We then see them at day 2 of their wedding. They're at the airport. They meet the other couples. We then see them at the group chat, and in the group chat, Alexis had asked everyone what was their first impression at their wedding. So Lindy says that she was calm the whole day, and that is not her personality. It feels good, they are comfortable with each other. Also, Miguel says they have sexual tension, and Miguel made a move, but Lindy turned him down. Lindy says that she wants to protect her heart. Thank you, Lindy. You should protect your heart. She says she wants to get to know him better, and she doesn't want her emotions to overtake the situation. And also, she doesn't think that sex is a big deal. She feels like they will be compatible in that area. And I think that is a great way to approach this social experiment. We then see them at their check-in. They are excited about their room and decor. And that was all for Lindy and Miguel. So what do you think about this couple? What do you think about the rant? What do you think about Lindy? Do you think she's getting a bad edit? Do you think they're trying to make us think a certain way about her? But the things that she's saying is valid. I think the things that she's saying is valid. Even when she was telling him about the trip, which I'm calling a ramble, but she said, hey, I've had a lot of cancellations and disappointments, and that's called my anxiety. I need snacks. I make things out to be a little thing. I feel like those are things that you would tell some people about your personality if you were in a conversation about that subject. I feel like a ramble is when you ramble about something not related to the topic that has no bearing on the conversation. But I think everything that she said related to the conversation. So what do you think about Lindy and Miguel? What do you think about Miguel? Do you think he's being too harsh on Lindy? And did you notice him rolling over at the end of the night and it appeared that he had an attitude? Let me know if you saw or thought he had an attitude like I did. Let's talk about it. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Let's look at Stacia and Nate. We see them first on their wedding night, and they are kind of entering their room and everything. And the first thing we see is Nate claims his side of the bed. And you can tell not Stacia is kind of like taking off, like, what, huh? What? Okay, well, if you want that side, then you can have it. And he's off. It's just a preference. I think he noticed, like, maybe I'm coming off a little too strong, which I do that. I will claim my side of the bed, but I don't know. My husband doesn't really care, so he can do either. So I will do that. So I could totally relate to Nate in that scene. Nate then helps Stacia out of her dress. Stacia takes a shower, which we don't know if a lot of them take a shower, but we know production leaves and they can then stay up to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So I think that some of them do it then, and we're just not seen. It's just not seen on the show. Nate wants to talk and have a cuddle session, but Stacia does too. She says she wants a cuddle session, but she will keep it cool. Once she gets to bed, and she looked so cute in her little nightie, just little plain, like, little glamour nightie, not nothing totally fancy, but not totally plain, just middle of the road, but looked really, really nice. They had a really deep conversation before bed. Stacia asked Nate, what's Nate's expectations of a wife? And I loved his answer. He said, today. And I love that he said today. I felt like he left room for himself to grow and develop. But he's like, today I want support and understanding. And I want someone who could be my best friend. Because looks fade, but friends last forever. And that is so true. You should really marry someone who you can be friends with, because that is going to last when all else fades away. So love that conversation. The next morning, Stacia lets us know that Nate exceeds her expectations. On a scale of 1 to 10, he is a 100. Nate lets us know that Stacia did not sleep with her eyes open, and Nate asks Stacia, what is her biggest insecurities? And Stacia says that it is communication. Although she thinks she is a great communicator, there has been breakdowns in communication, so she is not sure if she is communicating in a way that she is trying to or desires to, which I think is a lot of us. And I think that that is a great revelation, because if there is a breakdown in communication, then maybe you need to find a better way to communicate, especially if that is happening with more than one person. And she says that she then freaks out and she pulls away, which, I mean, when we're not comfortable, pulling away is natural. Nate says that his insecurity is he lived in Spain for 2 years, he lived in Greece for 1 year, and when he returned to the States, he faced a lot of kids who were savages. I thought savages was a little strong word, but he said due to his skin tone that he didn't feel like they accepted him. He was either too light, didn't fit in with this crowd. And Stacia, of course, they look very similar. So she said she could relate to that, but that she spent a lot of time alone. She ate lunch alone, had to do a lot of things alone. And now she just feels like, you know what? I don't care what other people think. But Nate says that cause for him, that cause made him develop a complex. And sometimes if he gets quiet, he's asking her to just nudge him in order to just snap him like out of it, because he still has a complex in that area. And he told her to nudge him based on what she said. She says, how can I help you with that? And I love that she wants to help her partner with the insecurity that they have. I think that we should want to help and support our partners, especially when they're able to vocalize and verbalize, what's going on. Then we can ask them, what can I do? What do I need? What do you need in that situation? So I like that they are having deep conversations in the beginning of their relationship. Stacia then meets with Nate's family. She meets with Joe, Nate's dad, and Vinny, Nate's friend. They ask Stacia what is something that Nate does not know about her. And she says it's her work ethics. She can work 10 to 15 hours a day, and she is very stubborn, and she always gets what she wants. They then say, will you be able to slow down? And she says that she's working on it, which that's my thing. You just got to say you're working on it, because she's never been married. So she's never had to slow down. So I feel like when you're in the grind of life, whatever state you are, and you're moving to another state, then you will adjust. And people have to give you that time and flexibility to adjust. Right now, there's no reason for her not to work 10 to 15 hours a day. She doesn't have a man. That is what she's desired to do. But now that she's married, I think she will adjust. I think that is like an unfair question that we ask. We ask people, what are you gonna do when you have kids? Well, when I have kids, then there'll be a different dynamic, and I'll have to do something differently. So I'm not sure about that, but I feel like they just kind of asked her. She answered and they moved on. So not gonna really make a big deal about it. Vinny says that he is worried because they are both independent and they're both stubborn, and they will need to be patient and understanding with one another. And that is going to be where the rubber meets the road, because if you're both stubborn and independent, and nobody's willing to bend, that is going to be very hard. And we're going to see who is most stubborn when Stacia asked Nate to sign that post-nup. So we're going to see who gives in or who stands their ground in that conversation. So that'll give us some insight onto their relationship in terms of how that goes. But the dad says that he just does not want her to break his son's heart. And we know from the conversation that Nate has with her family that him and his dad are really close. And so I thought that was just a great sentiment from a dad, that he doesn't want his son's heart broken. We then see Nate meet with Stacia's family. They ask, how long are you willing to wait for intimacy? Since at the wedding, we've already heard that you're a freak in the sheets. And he says that he will not pressure Stacia, that he really enjoys talking to her. They then ask Nate the same question that Stacia's family asked, which is there something about you that Stacia does not know? And he says that he had a business that went bankrupt, and he lets them know that now his only business is that he is a day trader, which is like your own little business. So I agree with them, but they, didn't give him a hard time. Sometimes that happens, and, it is new information, but I didn't think that didn't make me think less of Nate because he went bankrupt. A lot of people who are successful and they are millionaires at the end, they go through a lot of hoops and hurdles in order to learn those lessons that they need in order to get them where they need to be. So I don't know what she's going to think about that. That would reassure me that I do need to get a post-nup, because, hey, maybe you are not good with this business thing, and I don't want to kind of get involved with that, or that my stuff be mixed up in a bankruptcy that you have. But I think that still shows that of his entrepreneurial spirit, and that happens to a lot of people. Their next question is, what did he take from his parents' relationships? And they talk more than just more of a what mental perspective did you take from your parents' relationship? And he kind of gets emotional and kind of cries a little bit. He talks about his dad, how his dad was not a quitter and things were not easy. He then talks about how he kind of gravitated to families who had a nucleus in their family because he wanted that family relationship, and he wants to raise a family and those types of things. But in his cameo, he lets us know that he was raised by his dad and not his mom, and that he saw his mom one time and she gave him an emotionalist hug and then she was gone. And oh my God, that was just like, I don't know. I was raised without my dad. I only saw my dad for 2 weeks out of the time that I remember. I went to visit him for 2 weeks. But I don't know. I just feel like it's different, because I feel like moms, they shouldn't leave their children, which, maybe a lot of people are raised by their dads, but when you birth a child, I don't have children. I just can't imagine leaving them. So the fact that he saw his mom one time and she gave him a hug, and he seemed like it was void of emotion, and then that was it. I think that would be very tough, very tough. So if you were raised by your dad, comment in the comment section. Let me know what that's like. I have no knowledge of that at all. During their family wrap up, Nate shares with Stacia his emotional outbreak that he had with her family and lets her know that he cries, and then he kind of recites the conversation that he has and tells her that's why he wants a family and how he wants more of a traditional upbringing for his family, and he wants to take the best characters that he can from his dad and pour them into her kids. And she was very okay with that. She was okay with him crying and showing emotion, which I love. I think that we should stop telling men you need to be hard and man up. You have emotions and you can show them. You can show them in times of at appropriate times. And I think that that was a very appropriate time. We then see the honeymoon reveal. They're going to Mexico and they set off their poppers. We then see them at the airport. They meet the other couples. And when they arrive at the resort and everybody is getting off the bus, Nate does the high fives. And you guys know how I feel about these high fives. Oh my God. We've seen that from Justin. And I'm just like, is that a thing? But I hope that that does not continue. I hope that that does not get on my nerves. Because I'm just like, come on, just let them get off. Like, I don't understand it. So if you do, let me know what I'm missing. We then see them at the group chat. And at the group chat, the question was, what is your first impression at the wedding? And Nate says he got nervous when he walked down the aisle, but he was calm once he saw her face. There was a natural chemistry. They buy the same toothpaste. They finish each other's sentences. And Nate's friend says that Stacia is a female version of Nate. Then Stacia says there is a sexual tension between them, but they are waiting. Building that foundation to get to know each other, it's hard. They cuddle and they kiss, but they're waiting. Now, we'll see how long they waited, because then we see them at room check-in, and they are excited about their room and the decor. Nate then jumps in the jacuzzi. And I'm just like, come on, do you have any home training, Nate? Have you ever seen a jacuzzi before? Like, don't act like you have it. Like, I don't know. He was really excited. Have some decorum. Nate then says to the cameras that he wants to consummate the marriage during the honeymoon. He says he wants to understand her cues so he can be proactive in getting physical with her. So, hey, they just said they wanted to wait, but, now I guess the waiting is over. How long are you going to wait? Nate then says that from his dating past, he has gotten into physical relationships sooner and then later, and then it just didn't work out. And he has that conversation with Stacia, but I really don't feel like this conversation led up to what happens next. Stacia says that she does not want to have meaningless sex. Nate then says that they can take a shower to save water, and Stacia is not opposed. However, she says she's not opposed to taking a shower, but is not to save water. And then we see this steamy shower scene between Nate and Stacia. However, I really think, and it lasted way too long, so production, that was just way too much. But I could not take my eyes off of it because, this is a rated PG show on a family channel. And I kind of think that they had on a bathing suit and he had maybe trunks on, but then the shots that they got kind of avoided the areas where you would see like maybe the top or, the bikini panties or whatever it is. I do not believe that Stacia would go and take a shower totally exposed when there are cameras and people around. I just don't think she's that kind of person. So I think that they went in this whole shower scene and that they had on something, because I don't think that she would be totally nude in front of strangers. She just does not seem like that type of person to me. So let me know what you thought about the steamy shower scene. That was all for Nate and Stacia. So what do you think about this couple? Do you think they have great chemistry? Do you think they took it on to the next level? Do you think they're gonna make it? Do you think them being stubborn and independent is gonna get in the way of their relationship? Let's have the conversation in the comment section. We then see Justin and Alexis, and we see them the morning after their wedding. And Justin is happy with Alexis. He watched her sleep, which is creepy. Alexis knows why they are matched. So my thing is hey, all of us, we don't need to say the experts didn't get it right, they didn't make it. They say they understand why they are matched. So I don't want to hear any other conversation about how the experts got it wrong, because while they are enjoying each other, they're saying that the experts got it right, that they see why they are matched. So honestly, it doesn't really matter if we see it or not. They should be able to make it. If they see why they're matched, I think that they should be able to make it if they are able to put in the work. But she said that she sees why they are matched. They then joke about Alexis giving Justin her telephone number and putting her number in his phone. And I thought that was really cute. No, I'm not going to put my number in your phone. I'm married. I got a man. And I thought it was really cute. They both took a picture so that it could add it to the contact in his phone. And I thought that was a really cute, fun scene between Justin and Alexis. Alexis then meets with Justin's family, and she meets with Justin's friend Kara and Sharon, Justin's mom, and they ask her, how was her night? And she says, your son is still celibate, no pressure, we're good. Why? Why does she always gotta tout that out? I mean, at the thing, she's like, oh, he's celibate, when they were at their wedding reception and he told her. Like, I feel like she is making that such a big deal. Even when they are in the room by himself, she says, oh, well, we can't do this because you're celibate. You know, I mean, like, come on, leave it alone, Alexis. It's not a bad thing at all that the guy has not been out here. You know, we call them different names if they're just having relations with every girl they see. And now we criticize them for not. And I'm just like, that irritated me. I do not like that. I don't think that that's fair. And I don't think his mom wants to know that anyway. I mean, their family wasn't talking about intimacy like Lindy's family. So maybe she needed to go have that conversation with another family. But I did not like that. Justin's mom says that he has said that he is ready for marriage. Alexis then asked what happened to his last engagement, kind of like, why did it fail? And the mom, basically, she said, my name is Bennett and I ain't in it. Because she said, hey, you know what? I went shopping with the girl. Next thing I know, Justin called me. He told me it was over. She is like, I do not know what I'm not saying, even if I know what happened to that relationship. That is a question you need to ask Justin. Look, my name is Bennett and I ain't in it. And I am not mad at the mom. She was not trying to go in that conversation, but gave her a little bit from her perspective, not really what happened to the relationship. And I like that answer from mom. They then ask Alexis what happened about her engagements. And she says that she was an overthinker. She didn't know if she could spend the rest of her life with those persons. And she had unrealistic expectations, and she was just selfish. And what a mature thing to know where you are in life. Kara then says, marriage is not always fun. You're gonna be bored. How will you combat that? Because you can't just leave. And Alexis says she is done running, done with being afraid of being uncomfortable, because there is so much growth while being uncomfortable. Now that she is married, she has a different perspective. And that is so true. There is so much to learn in the uncomfortable, but a lot of times we don't want to stick and stay in that area. We just want to quit and run. So let's stay in the uncomfortable. They let Alexis know that Justin can be sensitive, and Alexis says, hey, I got that. I can handle sensitive. So I love that. We then see Justin meet with Alexis's family. She met with Amber and Kira, both of Alexis's sister, and Lily, Alexis's mother. They ask him, how do you respond in anger, or do you take time to cool off? Which I thought was a wonderful question. Now that is a good, insightful question that a family should ask. He says he will talk to her. He is very sensitive. He will cry with her, and he wants to make her happy, he's a pleaser. And from that question, they ask, Alexis is a very vocal woman. How will you advocate for yourself? And he says he is only a pleaser if it's reciprocated. And I want to let Justin know, you are not a pleaser. If you are a pleaser, you want to please the other person regardless of how they interact with you. If you only please somebody, you are a reciprocator. You are not a pleaser. That is not the definition. Like, I didn't like that answer, and I didn't understand. Like, if I'm mean to you, you're gonna be mean to me. And if I don't think that you should be a reactor, a responder. I think that you shouldn't react to what another person's emotion is. You should be who you are. So I don't think that Justin is a pleaser, and I thought that that was a bad answer, and I would not have been accepting of that if I was the family. Alexis's mom says that she thinks Justin wants to make Alexis happy, but it will not be a smooth ride, and she prays that it works. Unsure of the unknown will pull people apart or together. And that's, they don't know each other. So the fear, the unknown is going to decide on what's going to happen with their relationship. Great insight, Mom. The last question they asked Justin is, what are your thoughts if it does not work out? And Justin said, hey, I haven't thought about that. Quitting is not an option. I hope he keeps that throughout the whole season. We then see the wrap up between Justin and Alexis, and Justin says that your sisters were very protective, but were good after they heard my plans and intentions. Seemed like they were, but I don't think they should have been. We then have the honeymoon reveal. Alexis got her hair done and her braids looked fantastic. We find out that they are going to Mexico. And then we see this conversation about a swimsuit. And again, Alexis reminds Justin, we are celibate. But Justin says they don't have to end the way they begin. And Alexis says to the camera in a cameo that if he is with it, then she is with it. So let's get it. So maybe they will move in that direction during their honeymoon. We do know that Justin needs a mental connection, but he is really into Alexis. Maybe the mental connection is there and they will move quickly. We then see them at the airport. They meet the other couples. Justin says on the plane that he likes his wife and he is going to fall in love with her. And he may be already, just waiting to say it. And Alexis says that she likes her husband too. And I think that people think that's a bad thing, but I like that they have a desire to fall in love with their spouse. And I don't know, I think I can fall in love very quickly, so that doesn't bother me. We then get to the group chat. And in the group chat, Alexis starts the conversation about first impressions. What are your first impressions at your wedding? And Alexis says that she thought he looked familiar, and when she got up there, she noticed that they had matched on Hinge, and they could have been married 4 months ago if she had responded. She says he is perfect, and she might have missed out on the greatest thing of her life. Stacia tells us in a cameo that this is fate. She was used to a certain type of man, and now she is needing something different, and now it is delivered to her. So I think that Alexis has a great attitude about this relationship, seeing that she turned him down on Hinge, but we see why Justin is so excited about Alexis. He picked her himself. He had already picked her, so now he picked this girl on Hinge. She kind of ignored him. He kind of fantasized about what they could be or how they could be together, and then he gets on Married at First Sight and he marries the girl that he picked himself. I'm sure he is head over heels over Alexis because he picked her. He already knows stuff about her because he picked her. So whatever it said in the bio, he liked that about her. And they reveal later in the after party, if you haven't seen it, go see my after party review, but he also followed her on Instagram. So he followed her on Instagram, looking at her life and what she's doing. He already has an admiration for Alexis because this is somebody he picked and looked into their life prior to the show. So I think that his emotions and his feelings are going to move very quickly. I think he's an emotional guy anyway, but this added tidbit is going to make him through the roof. Alexis says that they want to build a mental connection before being intimate because her husband has been celibate for a year and a half. She said it again, and it's hard, but they're playing it day by day. And I don't know why every time there's a conversation, she feels like she has to bring this up, whether they by themselves or with people or whatever. And I think that this leads to Justin's next conversation, because Justin tells us that for the 10th time that he is stimulated mentally. The more he gets to know her, the better he will feel. It will feel for the both of them. He says it's worth the wait. But he woke up this morning and he was physically ready. She really does turn him on. And they had a very inappropriate conversation as the way that he explained it to the group. However, I think that Justin is standing up for his manhood. I mean, she has said it over and over, even to him, and she says it as if it's a negative. So I think he had to stand up for his manhood to say, hey, I'm ready, I can do this, and I'm willing. And, you know, I'm feeling this attraction. I think that it was a reaction to what Alexis said. But I think they both are just too open in terms of the things that they say and they share. I'm glad that they are both, so it's even. One person is not going to be like, don't say this or don't say that, because they're both alike in that area. But I think it's just too much. I think it was too much, but I think he was more so standing up for his manhood. Let me know what you think. What I did like in that scene is Alexis said, what are you saying? I'm the problem? And she moved away from him. And he said, no, you are not the problem. And he moved toward her. So I think that that was just a very comforting, reassuring act. You know, she moved away like, I'm the problem. He's like, no, you're not the problem. Kind of chased her. And we've heard Alexis say before that she wants, if she's mad or something like that, that she wants somebody to pursue her and give her that reassurance. So I thought that that was a reassuring act. You always want your partner to move towards you, you know, especially when you're pulling away because you think that you've done something or you are a problem. So I applaud Justin because he moved in to her right away. So I think that that was a good gesture. It was a small one, but it was really good and noticeable. And I think that from a woman's perspective, she would have noticed that as well. Did you guys notice that Miguel was agreeing with Justin the whole time as he was talking about how he is, you know, emotionally aroused in the morning and stuff like that? Miguel was like, yeah, me too. Like, he was agreeing. So, you know, it was an inappropriate conversation, but I think that some of the other men could relate. We then see them check into their room. They're really excited about the decor. And then that's the end of this episode for Justin and Alexis. So what did you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you think that they're too open and they just say too much too soon? What do you think about Alexis? Keep talking about the celibacy. Do you think Justin was standing up for his manhood? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section. We finally get to see Morgain and Binh, and we see them the day of their wedding. We first see Binh in a cameo, and he tells us that he is doing better. He took tests, and now he can resume life. And Morgain says that she got 4 hours of sleep the night before. She's been nauseous all day and barely eating. Then we see Binh greeting his groomsmen, and what it looks like is they're coming to his house. So did production be like, you know what, you guys missed the real wedding, y'all got to get dressed at home? Like, I don't know, it didn't look like they was in this like wedding area. Kind of looked like Morgain was, but not Binh, so not sure what was up with that. But we see Binh getting ready, and he says that it is the day before his 30th birthday, so he's really excited that he is getting married before 30. Not sure how that's going to work moving forward, having your birthday a day before your wedding. I'm not sure how you guys are going to mix that, but he's excited. He said he had to take 2 tests, and they both were negative, and he is ready to resume life. He tells us that the honeymoon will be shortened, but he will pay for a second honeymoon. And despite him being cheap, he will pay for it, and it doesn't matter. She can go wherever she wants to go. He says that his parents are only concerned about grandkids. So in the whole thing, his parents are concerned about grandkids. His parents have been married since 1975, and they have been married for over 40 years. It was interesting because his brother asked him, who is he more concerned about, the approval of his mom or the approval of his dad? And it's really interesting to me that his brother asked the question. So I really feel that culturally that they want to please their parents, because the brother said it as if it was not surprise, like, hey, we want to, we got to please our parents. Which one are you more scared of pleasing? And he said his mom, said she could be a little picky sometimes, and that he's closer to his mom than his dad. But I thought it was an interesting conversation because his brother brought the subject up, which I think identifies it as that's how they are in their family. I'm thinking that's just in terms of their culture, maybe it's isolated to their family of pleasing their parents. Because his brother then goes on to say, like, do you want to sign? If they give approval, do you want a code word? Like, he makes a big deal about this. So I think that it's no stretch that Ben, we see later on, wants to please his mom. But then we see Morgan. She says she is nervous, and she is a nurse, but she has never been this nervous despite all the things she has seen from being a nurse. She wants someone like herself so that they can be equals, someone on the same level as her. Her friends say that she needs to break down her walls, and they hope that Morgan will be patient. Dr. Pepper then tells us why they were matched. She says, we matched Morgain and Binh because Ben won't be intimidated by Morgan's independence and take charge attitude. Also, these two share a passion for being active and adventurous, assuming it's within Ben's budget. So I was asking last week, was I wrong about him being adventurous and being able to travel different places? And I think that he will. I think that he will be adventurous and he will be able to travel like Morgan wants to do. Morgan says that her dad is not coming to the wedding. She did not tell him. She had a very rocky childhood and finally set some boundaries. She does not tell him anything that's going on in her life. He is not involved in her life. Growing up, she imagined her wedding and she imagined walking herself down the aisle. She is going to do this. She is going to give herself away. She says that she is independent and confident, and she does not see this as something sad, like, oh, you don't have anybody to walk you down the aisle. She sees it like, no, I have myself. I don't believe in someone allowing me to be given away to someone else. So I love that she doesn't see it as a negative, or she doesn't get sad about that. I don't know. I did not grow up with my dad either, but my thing is that my dad did not reject me. My dad rejected his responsibility, and it just happened to be me. So I do not take it personal at all. He missed out on a great person, a great relationship, and a great thing. And so I understand Morgan's sentiment when she says that it's not a sad thing. You just deal with the cards you've been dealt. We then see Morgan get her gifts from Ben. She gets the book written by Pastor Cal, Marriage Ain't for Punks. Great placement, Pastor Cal. I don't know if you had anything to do with it, but great advertisement. He then writes her a card which says, "Dear wife, I'm sorry for the inconvenience of my test. When my dad had his heart attack, he was on the hospital bed. I made a promise to myself that regardless of what obstacles or adversities are in my way, I would make the most out of each moment. I can't wait to meet you and make the most out of each moment together. Love, your husband. P.S. Sorry about the shortened honeymoon. We'll do a second one wherever you want." And the crowd goes wow. Her mom says, "He thinks like you. Morgan, he's so sweet." They then flash the ring and we get our James Allen commercial. jamesallen.com. It was a beautiful ring, and she says it is the exact ring that she would have picked out for herself. We then see Ben, and he is with his mom for the last couple of minutes, and he asks her how she feels. And she is like, I just want grandkids. And he tells her that they will have grandkids relatively soon, although he ain't met his wife yet. And he says, if you talk to her and there's something that you don't like about her, just let me know and we can try and work it out. And a lot of people have an issue with that, but if your mom don't like something, he said try to work it out. Doesn't mean he will be able to, but I don't know. I think that in-laws should get along, so I don't have any problem with him saying that to his mom. I think that the telling part about this relationship is gonna be if his mom uses her influence over Ben ineffectively. Because if she uses it real responsibly and he's a mama's boy, who cares? But in the earlier conversation with his brother, he did say that the mom could be picky. So I don't know, maybe she has interfered in other relationships before. But it sounds like the mom really just wants grandkids and she don't really care as long as it's a decent girl and the girl can give her grandkids. Maybe she won't make a big deal about Morgan. But he tells his mom, I hope you love her. And she says, we're so proud of you because you are making it happen. And I think she says you are making it happen where we can have the possibility of grandkids. And we find out that the parents did give permission for Ben to do this. Morgan says, worst case scenario, he hates me and his family hates me and his friends too. So that was a kind of sad, scary last thought. Ben says, my mom, she's someone that I value her opinion, but sometimes she can be nitpicky instead of appreciating the good. So the worst thing that could possibly happen is that his mom does not approve. Now that's scary, because my thing is that if his mom is responsible with the influence that she has over Ben, then things will work out. But if she is nitpicky, that might be a problem. And I don't think that Morgan is gonna go for that. We now get to the wedding, and Morgan is walking down the aisle. And the first thing that I noticed is I think before Ben got excited, he looked at his mom and got her approval. And basically his mom was like, we approve. And so now he was excited and all smiles. So I don't know if you catch that. I think it was very subtle, but I don't know. And then when Morgan gets down the aisle, she does a lot. Give me a hug, hold my hand. And I don't know. I just think it's sometimes too much talking, but it does break the ice. She seemed very personable, which I was very surprised because that's not the feeling that I get from Morgan. So although I felt like it was disruptive, I did like seeing that kind of softer side of her. She seemed very kind, which that is one of my things. I don't know if she's kind, but she seemed very kind in this interaction. So I'm so glad that I'm getting a different view of Morgan. The minister then says, now Morgan, Ben's family and friends want you to know that you are marrying a loving, dedicated, and sincere man, and he has his master's degree in engineering, and he loves to solve complex problems, but he still can't figure out how to grow facial hair. Ben loves working out 5 days a week, so you will have to love seeing him shirtless. Morgan, Ben hopes that you're ready to share him with the other woman in his life, Ben's mom, as he's a proud mama's boy. He values her opinion on everything. Luckily, she agreed to allow him to marry a stranger. And Morgan says that she doesn't have a problem with him being a mama's boy. So I like that she is on board with including his mom in their relationship. Not to the point where it's invasive, but I feel like your family is a part of your relationship. So I don't know. We'll see how that works out. The minister then says, Ben, Morgan's friends and family want you to be aware that you're getting a lover and a fighter. Morgan loves her friends, her family, and her cat Max. However, the fighter in Morgain is often intense and she likes getting her way. This has been her secret to success. As a dedicated nurse, Morgain is very compassionate and she knows how to patch you up when life kicks you down. Now, to relax after saving lives all day, Morgain likes to play violent assassin video games for fun. She trains as a Muay Thai kickboxing, but outside of the boxing ring, Morgain is truly looking for a love to fight for. I don't know, she plays violent assassin video games. I don't know if that's something that you should have shared like right in the beginning. And then of course we're gonna see he has no idea what Muay Thai boxing is, so that might cause some problems. So in Morgan's vows, she says, I'm sure you noticed that I walk myself. So for Morgan's vows, she says, I'm sure you noticed that I walked down the aisle by myself. I wanted to show you that I'm a strong, independent woman who can carry herself, but also didn't want someone else to give me away to you. I promise to put you first every hour of every day for the rest of our lives. I promise to make you laugh and bring you more happiness than you've ever experienced. And I promise to be patient and understanding. And we're about to embark on the greatest life adventure together. I don't know. You think she can promise to be, I promise to put you first every hour of every day for the rest of our lives? That's the one I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to see if she puts him first, because I don't think that Morgain is that person. So let's see if she keeps that vow. For Ben's vows, he memorized them because he had a lot of time while he was at home recovering. So he says, I, Ben, take you, Morgain, to be my wife. I promise to respect you and be there for you in sickness and in health, until you're old and wrinkly. I promise to bring laughter and silliness and finance our relationship to ensure the magic never ends. I promise to do the little things to make you happy, even if that means trusting you with my credit card. Although we haven't had one adventure yet together, I promise to honor and cherish and love you through all of life's adventures. No matter where we go, we'll go together. This I vow to you. I liked his vows. I don't know if there's anything that I can point to see that if he holds to them, but I thought that they were really nice. Morgan's first impression is that she is very happy. He is really cute. She finds him really attractive. He looks great. She loves his suit, shoes, and his hair. And Ben asks Morgain what's the significance of her tattoo, and she says it's for her grandmother. Her family's mom's side had really deep blue roots in Japan, and they, at that moment, agreed to go to Japan on their second honeymoon. So I was really worried and concerned that Morgain wouldn't get the Japan trip that she is longing to take, but she already got it. So that sounds good to me. Ben tells her that he doesn't mind the tattoo and he plans to get one when he's financially free. He says he wants to get to the point one day where he can quit his job and be financially free and still do things, which I think is an admirable goal. He says, I'm not sure if you want kids or not. Morgain never answers. Morgain did not answer his questions about kids. Her answer was, well, now we have a cat together. You're a cat dad. His name is Max. She never answered whether she wanted kids. I'm sure he noticed that. He lets her know that he's an engineer. That's his corporate job, but he does personal training on the side. Morgain then lets him know that 4 days a week she does weightlifting and then she does Muay Thai. So she works out 5 days a week. She then explains to him what Muay Thai is, and she says that she can throw people on the ground. You can wrestle them on the ground, but you can throw them on the ground, but you can't wrestle them on the ground. So she can still touch them, kick them, and throw them to the ground. And he makes a comment like, who, me? And she says, yeah, you. I can do that to you right now. And he said, I will keep that in mind. So I don't think that some spouse wants to hear the first thing is, hey, I can kick you to the ground, so you better be careful. And I loved his answer. He said, I'll keep that in mind. Ben's first impression of his wife is that she's super pretty. I think there's definitely chemistry. He's interested in getting to know her for sure, but he's kind of scared about the Mai Tai. He might be in trouble, so somebody should send help. I thought that was cute. And that was it for Morgain and Binh. So what did you think about our introduction to Morgain and Binh? They finally got to meet each other. Do you think the mama's boy is going to be a problem? Do you think she is going to be able to be nice and kind? What do you think about the Mai Tai fighting? Will they bond because they both work out 5 days a week? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And then we get the previews that are coming up, and it's just like a whirlwind situation. Oh my God, if we see each couple having an up and a down, and my thing is, I don't know which one comes first, so I don't even know what to think. And this week on the after party, we saw Nate, Morgan, and Alexis. So if you want to hear more about what happened on the after party related to episode 4, then please head over to the next video. And with that, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, live with intention. Be intentional.